All right, so Sidra she brought up a topic of Kratom, wondering if Kyle Kalinske had talked about it, and he did a few days ago, maybe a week ago. He spoke about Kratom. So first, I want Sidra to go over what she had. I suppose heard from wherever she heard it from, something on radio or something.
No, I
But
read an article on my
oh, she read an
phone.
article. Okay, there you go.
I can't remember what the article was, but it was saying that the FDA had made it a Schedule-1 drug like weed and heroin and all that stuff, considering it an opioid. And it also said that they had looked into it because there was 26 deaths involving, I don't know necessarily if it said caused by, but involving kratom. And I'm like, 26 deaths? Okay, granted, folks dying is bad, but that's like people dying by a knife and they're going to make knives illegal. I mean, what the hell? As many people who have died from hydrocodone, oxycodone, they're still alive and kicking. You can get them by prescription. They're not illegal, but because people were using kratom to relieve the ills more naturally than using an opioid without being addicted, and also it's supposed to increase focus, they were getting around the FDA. They were getting around pharmaceutical money. And that's why it's not a Schedule 1 drug.
And normally I bring up the Department of Justice, the FDA, how they're just lies, and I often bring up that, and to me it's the most staggering about the statistic of black people committing more crimes and being policed heavier and stuff, because black people have always been policed heavier because they are a Schedule 1 person.
Yes.
And how this Department of Justice are just lies. Black people commit more crimes. Like they make up, and what someone argued that black people make up 13% or 13.5% of the country, when at one point they was making up 20% of the country. I guess the racists have done their job, because that's a 7% difference, and 7% is a lot. But when it comes to this kratom thing, the reason I'm using those bullshit statistics from the Department of Justice is because it also branches into this. Originally, people said the Department of Justice, the FDA, and the CDC was saying that people were dying of marijuana. And the marijuana was usually laced with angel dust, or it was laced with cocaine or something like that. And you OD on cocaine, yeah, so you have it in your system. So that's what was going on. Now, they did that, and they also said they need to stop marijuana because black people can't handle it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I couldn't handle weed butter at all because it didn't have the healing toxins or whatever the fuck it was in it. No, my friend wanted to give me some good shit, so I can tell that story later. Just request it in the comment section. I'll embarrass myself. But for this, kratom is good. I was listening to Kyle. That was my source, Kyle, who got it from some other source, like New York Times or something like The Verge or something. But kratom, what happened is the 26 plus deaths that's happened with kratom was because these people died of cocaine or heroin or crack cocaine overdoses, and kratom was in their system. So they said kratom did it. It was easy. A guy was shot in the chest and died. Kratom was in the system, so they blamed kratom. This is what Kyle was reporting. And I did look it up, yeah. It's true. They did this shit. And there was a guy that fell off a building that had kratom in the system, so they blamed the kratom. And when it comes to, I like being fair. And look, if you're gonna ban kratom, yes, when someone gets stabbed with a knife, ban all knives. If a woman gets mad and throw hot grits on someone, ban hot grits. You can have the cold grits. You can have the dry grits, but you cannot have hot grits. If someone dies from blunt force trauma, whatever that weapon was, make sure that it's no longer used.
Cast iron skillets.
Cast iron skillets, batons from police, guns from police. You know, ban all of that stuff.
Fists from police.
Fists, yes.
Ban all police fists.
Ban all of that shit. That's what needs to happen. Now, the thing is, that's when you over-regulate. You know, that's when you over-regulate. But I did one video when I said weed talk is pointless. Find that and look it up. You know what? I'll just put that in the description. I'll put the link in the description. It'll be above the other multitude of things in the description, but I usually put those at the top. But yeah, this is all bullshit, and we know it. We know it. My question is, what can we do about it? What can we do? And I try to give some kind of thing, something, and what we can do, elect the right people. Elect people who are not taking PAC money, corporate PAC money, people who are using grassroots. That doesn't mean that they're going to be on the side of a better drug country, you know, drug laws and things like that. No, it doesn't mean that as soon as they get in office that they're not going to do something stupid, but they have a better chance than those who are controlled by Big Pharma. And they're not really controlled by Big Pharma. That's just, I'm going to talk about that in a separate one too. But we need better people in office. That's really it. Vote for them. When you hear about them, vote for them. Whoever the incumbent is right now, don't vote for that person. Don't, not unless you know that person is a progressive, forward-thinking person. But we need people that are going to do the right thing when it comes to gun laws, drug laws, and things like that. Who's going to go to the Senate and fight. And the fight means they're going to talk on the behalf of what's right. They might not get their way, but they sure as hell aren't supporting the wrong way. And that's what we need. More people talking on behalf of the right way. So that's all I have to say. What about you?
It's just real sad because there are lots of people who aren't drug seekers that are in chronic pain, severe pain every day, and our medical system doesn't give a damn to fix the problem that is causing them their pain, and all they can do is prescribe opioids to deaden their pain, and then when they get hooked, they start giving them to them because now they're drug seekers, and people are trying to help themselves with things like Kratom, and they're going to take it away. They don't want people to help themselves. They don't want them to survive.
Because there's no money in the cure. There's no money in you feeling okay. Like Kyle was talking about someone in stage 4 cancer, and they use marijuana, or they might use Kratom, or they might use something to get the pain off. They want to die not hollering in pain. And how doctors now are starting to become afraid to prescribe an opioid. I'm like, you should have been afraid a long time ago. Doctors used to, see, I thought I had all that. No, doctors used to basically prescribe cigarettes. Doctors would smoke while performing surgery.
Yeah, everybody smoked. The patients, the
yes,
doctors, and everybody was smoking.
Everyone, and they advertised that smoking was good for you. And just think about the stupidity of us. And yeah, I say us, all of us, even those who don't smoke, because it's hard to name everyone who do and don't smoke, did and stopped and all. Look, you pick up a cigarette, you start smoking, and you start coughing. That's your body saying, I'm not getting any air, and I'm coughing to get it. Stop this. And you say, you know what? This burned. This ain't so good. And then those toxins are in your system. They go to your brain, and your brain says, you know, I kind of want that again. You got 2 options. That's it. 2 options. Fight that desire or go with it. And more often than not, because humans are addicted to a lot of shit, we got addictive personalities, we go right to it. That's why for me, I just don't start. I've never smoked secondhand because mom and dad smoked, others smoked. But it's like a potato chip. You bite one. If it has no salt on it, you're bored with it. But if it has salt on it, a little salty, but then you have another, and then another, and then another, and you wonder, why does my tongue sting? Or why is everything I have now is so salty? Well, yeah, you just had about 10 pounds of salt. So we need the right people in power. We need ourselves, okay? We need ourselves to support these people, these good people, forward-thinking people. We can't have our addictive personality to incumbents and those who get in for the money. We have to stop being addicted to our intellectual laziness and do a little research or a lot of research or moderate research and find who is worth our time. Not who do we side with, who sides with us. You're either for Big Pharma and their incumbents and their puppets, or you're for progressive, forward-thinking people who want to do the right thing by the people, for the people. Because we the people, we should be controlling Congress, not the other way around. I'm going to talk about that one in another post too. Do you have anything else? All right. This is Cedric Kennedy and Sidra Owens for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.